All right, Shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. While Jake is fully invested inside of America, you see how people they getting worse and worse day by day. They really believe in this place. They really prefer to be second class citizens. I never saw anything like this. When we tell them America's gonna be destroyed, it makes their skin crawl, right? Because they want to stay under their oppressor. They are comfortable in their own captivity. But let's deal with this thing right here, this so-called African American, colored, so-called black. All these are fake nationalities, and they purposely did this to confuse you so you can be lost, right? And they use these so-called fake black, Hispanic, and Native American leaders, right? They have been paid off long time ago to confuse, distort the truth, have you in straight confusion, and lie to you to your face, right? So this guy Jesse Jackson was a boule. So you can do your own homework on that. And boule is a society that's used of jakes to further manipulate you, jakes, confuse you, lie to you, and keep you in a strong delusion. I'm gonna get into this video right here, but I want you to check this out because this is a heavy video. It's short, but it's heavy. Check this out.
Our people are the only ones that accept that African American term.
No, you weren't. I remember when we became African Americans because I worked in the black marketing department at Coca-Cola when we were selling Coke to our people. And the vice president came in and said, "Okay, we are now African Americans." We were like, "All righty, African."
How you spell that again?
Right.
Is it two ways?
And I heard this white woman was sitting next to me, and she said to another white woman, "They don't know who they are."
You hear that? That was heavy. Look at that Jake woman face. Completely confounded. And I bet both of these Jake women are so-called college educated. But again, you people are so dumb. You focus on the wrong stuff. You focus on all this other stuff. You focus on your career. You focus on trying to make sure you get a house by 35. You focus on all these things, which these things are all vain. They're gonna perish with this place. But your spiritual life, you don't have no interest in it. It's stupid, right? I bet both of them Jake women right here, college educated. And just because you have a college so-called degree, a degree of knowledge, that don't mean you fucking intelligent. And it shows that with our people time and time again. Because them being in the system, they are told what's important, what's not important, what they need to worry about, what they don't need to worry about, right? So on and so forth. So let me get into this other video. Now I'm gonna get into this video, this secondary video of this Jake right here. So you Jakes are completely gone. You completely brainwashed and indoctrinated. And we see it come out more and more because you people really under a spell. Like we'll tell you you're not black, but you continue to call yourself that. We'll explain to you why you're not black people. We'll go into the definition. Now I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna get back to the ABC. But you continuously call yourself that because you're brainwashed. You're indoctrinated. You're sick in the head, right? So Jake kind of got over the hurdle of they understand they're not so-called African American, some of them, but they call themselves black. 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna get into this video right here. Give me 1 second.
1619 and the arrival of the first enslaved Africans in Virginia, standard terminology to describe Africans living in America was colored or Negro. For over 360 years, as blacks were relegated to second-class citizenship, terms that reinforced oppression have been used to describe them.
But as you heard that terms that reinforce oppression, like black, right? So you Jakes, man, you go into one, you get out of one rat trap and you go into another one, right? So we don't really get you people, man. But just listen to what he say.
Past, black people have at times fought to break free from derogatory labels. After the Civil War, several black people dispensed with the names given them by their former enslavers. This would continue even into the 1900s when, during the height of the civil rights movement, black leaders strongly rebelled against Jim Crow labels. But for mainstream America, a major turning point came in the late 1980s. On this day in 1988, a group of black leaders, including Reverend Jesse Jackson and representatives from the NAACP, met to discuss the national black agenda. It was here that Jackson and his peers catapulted the term African American into the country's lexicon. The term.
You hear that? So this is all orchestrated. and see they'll put these faces like they put Jesse Jackson in front of you because you know Jake really simple minded, and they'll think that's they true leaders, right? You Jakes didn't really push for none of these leaders, but they gave you your leaders, your heroes that you worship today was given to you by the so-called white man because they know they can control you better that way. They give you your leaders, right? They tell you who to worship, who's your leaders. They go to show you how slow Jake is. Let's go. I want to read this comment. But this whole narrative that you've been force fed ever since you was a little child is all nothing but witchcraft. And they say lie. And most of these Jakes, they call themselves college educated or whatever, can't break out of this spell. That's why this doctrine, they go to show you how special the elect is. They able to overcome this, I'm just saying, this impossible feat, right? Through the spirit. Right here at the top, Jesse Black Boulay Jackson was instructed by his master, the so-called white man, international banking families, the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, even the ones you don't never hear about. They control your monetary system, and this trickles down to your average Edomite, right? Your politicians and all that, they control these ninjas. They tell them what to do, when to bark, when to bite, what to say. They write them speeches. They tell them what to say, and they're all controlled and paid for by these devils. It says right here, was instructed by his master to further confuse so-called black American. This person that commented is confused because you Jakes love this black man and black woman narrative, right? Even when you wake up, see Jake could jump out another rap trap. He'll jump from one rap trap to another rap trap, right? You don't really have any focus, man, to get this right. So that's why the Most High wanted us to be very detailed and be very anal about getting things correct. At the very top of this image, you got the word colored, which they called you that. Now they call you people of color to further insult you. That's why I don't like using that term, right? Under that, you got Afro-American. That's more confusion. What are they trying to hide? Did you ever ask yourself these questions? Then you got under the African American, which was coined, African American was coined in 1988 by Jesse Jackson, all right? Now they call you black. So this is all madness, but this is prophetic. That's why you have to know the spiritual undertone of what's going on in this life, or you're going to be lost, right? You're just going to go through this life, right, in la la land. Jeremiah 17:4, it says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue. When you discontinue something, it's done away with. Like if you go to the store and the product has been discontinued, they no longer sell it, right? From thine heritage. I'm going to get into that word heritage because that's going into your language, the way you dress, your customs, the way a man carries himself, the way a woman carries herself, right? That's why everything's so out of order because you've been torn away, all right, from your nationality. That's why it was very instrumental of them when they separated these Jakes on these plantation. They gave them their names, right? And they also split the families up in some cases, right? And then after that first generation would die off, they can indoctrinate that second generation, and then after that it's a wrap, right? That's why you got the generation of these Jakes that are completely lost. They have no interest in the spiritual things that's going on. That's the last thing they worried about. And when they so-called go serve God as they think, they go to the Christian church because why? That's all they know. From thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies. So you still serving your enemy, right? In the land of your captivity. In the land which thou knowest not. So this was going to be a place that you was going to be taken to. And they got the northern kingdom that was already over here as well. That was the first slave trade, right? So it just wasn't a transatlantic slave trade that our people know about. It was another slave trade before that when they enslaved the so-called Native Americans, Salakia, and reclassified them, a lot of them as so-called black, right? Because the true Native Americans was so-called people of color, if you want to use that terminology. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Just a very long time, right? So this whole agenda to destroy you, to tear you away from your identity. And when you lost, You don't know who you is. You don't know, right? You don't have no way of life. I mean, your way of life is going to be given to you, right? You're going to culture assimilate, right? Let me show you something real quick. Let's go to this word heritage. Heritage. So the true Israelites was going to be going into captivity, and they was going to lose their identity. The true Israelites, not the people that's in the land of Israel right now, calling themselves Jewish. We never called ourselves Jewish. It says heritage. It says at the top, the history. Your history been stripped from you. All you know is you were so-called slaves running around Africa butt naked. Why you think they purposely told you that narrative, right? It says traditions. You picked up on up to date traditions. That's why you do Valentine's Day. That's why you do Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You don't know who you are. Like the lady came to the conclusion in that video. I mean, that was stated in the video. It says practices. That's heavy because you have picked on the practices and the customs and the mentality of the so-called white people race, Edomites. It says, etc. Right? So you'll be stripped, the true Israelites will be stripped from their identity, and they'll be given these bywords when you go to the book of Deuteronomy, right? And Jake lost sheep, right? And the sheep that has wandered from the flock, this is a powerful image right here. It kind of reminds me of our people, right? Because this sheep is good as dead. All right, it's a little lamb, right? And this lamb has wandered from the flock. I'm just making a storyline, right? And you see it's all dirty and confused looking, right? This easy pickings for a predator, right? But this is our people in a symbolic sense. Let me show you what this means so you can get it. Give me 1 second. Right here. So this picture right here is powerful. You got Jake being a rapper throwing so-called money, right? You got the Jake woman to the top left with ass all out, dressing provocative, right? Right. This is just like a lost people, lost sheep. They don't know who they are. Look at this Jake with the gold grill, with the goddamn blunt, with the money to his ear. That's what Jake do, right? So these are unrecognizable people right now, right? Because they lost sheep. They lost spiritually. What's the spiritual aspect of your life guides your physical part of your life, right? It controls what you do and you don't do, your mindset. Because the mind, the body follows the mind, right? So let's go here. Man, I wanted to get into some more stuff. I'm just not going to have enough time. Right? So let me go here. Matter of fact, I know what I wanted to do. I want to show you this real quick because I want to go deeper into this word Africa. So Africa is a Latin word, right? So it was named from the Edomites, right? Right. So like black right here, religious symbol of mourning, death. You hear this? Sin. So when you call yourself black, you're casting a spell on yourself. It's sin, sickness, and evil. So basically, when you call yourself black, you're saying you're evil. When you say black people, you're saying your people evil. Which Jake is wicked, but you get what I'm saying, right? That's why they relabeled themselves white and labeled you black. White, religious symbol of light, joy, purity, innocence, and holiness. It's so obvious what they did, but you have to really see this. It's obvious. A lot of this stuff is not really even that deep, right? Because they labeled themselves white and they relabeled the complete